What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about incredible places on Vancouver Island. Now, I would say, in general, Americans are not very good at knowing Canadian cities, but Vancouver is actually a city that most Americans have at least heard of. I remember growing up as a little American, at least knowing the name Vancouver, although I never knew where it was. But I did react to a video not that long ago about Vancouver, where I got to see it, and it was incredible. And during that video, I discovered the long-lost island of Vancouver, aka Vancouver Island. Okay, well, long lost to me. I am fairly certain Canada had discovered this island since a month ago. But to me, I was like, there's an island by Vancouver, Vancouver Island. And apparently, there's a lot of amazing stuff there. So I wanted to dedicate a video to seeing some of these amazing things. And what I have here is a Expedia video, which are usually very, very entertaining, like very well shot, with a whole list of places that they're gonna show on Vancouver Island. So I'm very excited for this. Let's take a look.
Catch a ferry or seaplane from Vancouver and arrive right in the heart of Victoria Harbour.
Whoa, what? A ferry? Catch a ferry to Vancouver Island, really? We don't have too many ferries in the United States. Are ferries common in Canada, or is this a Vancouver Island thing, or? Anyway, okay.
Ferry or seaplane from Vancouver and arrive right in the heart of Victoria Harbour, the picturesque gateway through which the island's fortunes have long flowed.
Victoria on Vancouver Island. I think that was in like one of the best Canadian cities, like list that I was looking at in a different video as well, Victoria.
Once a rough fur trading outpost, Victoria found its wealth as the outfitting center for British Columbia's gold rush.
I'm having trouble even listening to his little history narration, just because this city is so beautiful. There's so many, I've noticed a pattern, there's so many amazing Canadian cities that are by water. I don't know if that's on purpose, but I always say it's like not really fair because it makes them all so much more beautiful and picturesque just with the water, and I don't know. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all. Don't think that.
And became the elegant provincial capital in 1871.
Okay.
Today, it is still described as more British than the British.
More British than the British? Is it because it has these castles? How does it have castles, by the way? Or is this like a, what is this? What on earth is this? It's not quite a castle. Is it a church, a cathedral? It's beautiful. This is the kind of architecture you really do not find in the United States either, this kind of stuff. Wow.
Designed by a young immigrant to express confidence in the promise of British Columbia, the Parliament buildings have proudly served the people of the province since their construction in 1898.
1898, Parliament building. I've seen like funny memes on the internet of like what we build now, and it's like some really ugly modern building versus what we built in the 1800s, and then it would show something like this, and then it's like, it's absolutely true. How the heck did we build this stuff 100, 200 years ago that is this insane? I would be amazed if this was built today. Wow, the Parliament building. Beautiful.
Take the short stroll to the Fairmont Empress Hotel, an iconic symbol of the city itself. Ever since it opened its doors in 1908, this stately establishment has been a magnet for society's elite.
I was gonna say, like, let's not beat around the bush here, narrator. I don't think most of us are staying in this hotel. I think the Prime Minister is staying in this hotel, the President. Like, this is the fanciest hotel I've ever seen.
From Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth and Katharine Hepburn to Rudyard Kipling and Harrison Ford.
Okay, literal celebrities and monarchs stay in this hotel. So there you go.
Nearby,
It is nice.
grit, tenacity,
It is very nice, though.
and industrial-era spirit are celebrated in Craigdarroch Castle.
There is a castle. How's there a castle? Is all this cool stuff just all concentrated on Vancouver Island? All these castles and cathedrals and parliament buildings?
Built by a Scottish coal baron, Robert Dunsmuir. Stepping ashore penniless in 1851, by the late 1800s, he had become the wealthiest man in British Columbia.
Wow. Seems like Vancouver Island and maybe British Columbia, just by its name, it seems to have quite a lot of British roots, British history, British Empire history going on. I feel like that has a lot to do with some of these buildings, historical buildings.
Although the dust has long since settled over Victoria's quarries,
Wow.
one has been given a new lease on life. In 1912,
What is this? Like, how? There can't be this many beautiful things. Who is maintaining this garden? That's what I want to know, because it's insane.
Jenny Butchert meticulously cultivated a green haven in the sunken remains of her family's depleted limestone quarry.
It is a haven. This is a haven. If ever I saw I never used the word haven, but this is a haven.
Wander through Butchert Gardens and reflect on Jenny's legacy of conservation and respect for Mother Nature.
Wow. Beautiful. Wow. So this is, I feel like Vancouver Island, or maybe specifically this city, is probably gets a lot of tourist attention. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Canadians travel here as well. This seems like just somewhere anyone in the world would want to go. Wow! This looks like a movie set. This doesn't look real.
Vancouver Island's rich history is preserved in the many museums and galleries across the capital, including the Royal BC Museum. Experience 19th century life in the Old Town and admire the immense collection of priceless artifacts in the First People's Gallery.
Whoa. Is this like including history outside of Canada? Because it seems like they have a lot of stuff. And the fact that they have this little recreation of an old town. That's pretty awesome.
Then, walk amongst totems carved from red cedar, representing the sacred ancestry of the island's First Nations.
Oh, wow. Yes. That's nice that they're giving a little homage to the original inhabitants of Vancouver Island.
A short walk from the museum, discover an area that's a little less genteel British and a little more quirky Canadian.
This, I don't know, this looks like some Scandinavian river village. But no, it's just Vancouver Island, Canada. This, with all the colorful houses, built on the water, man. And it's so interesting jumping from the cathedrals made of big stone to this, maritime water ferries houseboat stuff. It's great.
Fisherman's Wharf is a floating neighborhood of houses, shops, and restaurants.
It's an entire floating neighborhood with restaurants and stuff. That's great.
Order some of the freshest seafood in Canada and try to resist the pleading looks of hungry locals hoping to share your lunch.
What? There are seals. There are seals. I'm not going to resist them. I'll give them whatever they want. Wow.
Though Victoria is the first port of call for most visitors, the adventure truly begins when you rent a car and travel beyond the capital.
Okay, so that was all the capital of Vancouver Island? Victoria. Wow, that was all just in Victoria. Jeez.
Make your way to the scenic area of Souk to start discovering the natural offerings of this abundant island.
Yeah.
Explore an inland oasis of hidden pools and waterfalls at Souk Potholes Regional Park.
This is what people don't understand. That Canada even has natural wonders like this. Especially Americans, I gotta say. Since it's relevant, Americans just think Canada is like a frozen, flat, icy wasteland or something. But especially between the different provinces, you can really find an insanely diverse selection of natural, wonders and climates and geography. including this. Like, this is particularly amazing to me. This rock formation and waterfall, it's ridiculous. Wow.
Follow salty sea breezes further west to the black basalt shoreline of Sandcut Beach and soak up the enchanting rhythms of lapping waters blending with rushing waterfalls.
I'm surprised no one is here. Maybe they rented the beach out or something for their video, but I'm surprised there aren't tourists here checking this out. This seems amazing. Wow.
Continue along the British Columbia Highway to the Juan de Fuca trailhead.
It's like it's like we just transported to an entirely different planet. This is beach planet, and now beautiful woodland planet. Like, what? This is all on Vancouver Island?
And take the easy 1 mile walk through dense old-growth forests to Mystic Beach.
That's cool.
Explore the eerie shoreline and caves, which have been gradually carved by tempestuous Pacific waves over thousands of years.
Oh, look, someone's got a little rope swing they built. Wow. The narrator's trying to talk about, you know, the history of the rock formation from water, and it's like, no. There's a rope swing right there, darn it.
If you're chasing adventure and want to experience one of the world's great coastal walks, lace up your hiking boots for the entire 29-mile trek.
I love what they're showing here. It's like out of Lord of the Rings or something, just these beaten pathways through these woods.
Or for a quicker journey, continue to drive northwest along the highway.
Yeah. Wow.
One of the camping stops along the Juan de Fuca Trail is Sombrio Beach. After immersing yourself in miles of serene wilderness, settle in for the night. Watch the sun set over the Pacific and bask in pure solitude.
Imagine being able to, like, fall asleep to this view. Is it legal? Like, are you allowed to just go to a beach on Vancouver Island and set up a tent and camp? Is that legal, or it has me wondering.
When you're ready to return to civilization, take the 2-hour drive across the island to Cowichan Bay on the east coast.
Cowichan Bay. Another one of these floating house by the water towns. Like, these are awesome. This is truly something I've never seen in the United States. I don't know if we have anything like this. Maybe where the United States touches the water, but I've never seen anything like this. This seems special.
This cozy seaside town thrives on the bountiful waters of the Saanich Inlet.
Wow. Oh, and if you live here, you looks like you have to have a boat. You have to have a nice boat, or you're just a schmuck.
A short drive north of Cowichan is the city of Parksville.
Okay.
This picturesque place is a warm and inviting rest stop, and as the name suggests, the perfect base from which to explore many pine-veiled parks and reserves.
Wow. There are so many forests and parks and beaches. Vancouver Island is like a paradise.
As the trail leads you deep into Englishman River Falls Provincial Park, breathe in the fresh scents of cedar, hemlock, and maple.
Wow.
Follow the sound of cascading water to the riverbed, where the waters of Englishman River tumble into the rocky gorge below.
Very cool. I feel like you could go your entire, like, Canada is enormous enough with all the stuff in Canada, but at least the way they presented this video, Vancouver Island seems to have a, like, endless, amazing natural things, natural wonders to see. Wow.
Just a short drive from here is McMillan Provincial Park, famous for Cathedral Grove.
Wow.
Wander beneath this ancient cluster of Douglas firs, standing like mighty pillars, some over 800 years old.
Jeez, how thick are these trees? Is this an optical illusion? Or is that tree, like, 30 feet wide? I can't tell. That is so great.
Let the sizzling smells of farm-to-table fare draw you back across to the west coast to Tofino.
Oh yes, I will let the sizzling smells of food lead me back to Tofino. Don't you worry, narrator.
This friendly town bustles with visitors throughout the year. Surfers are drawn to the legendary swells of Long Beach and
Yeah.
Easterman Beach.
Oh my God. This is another thing. Oh, I'm remembering this a little bit from the Vancouver video, that there's places in Canada you can surf. That is so crazy. Talk about something Americans would never, like, ever know. Like, that, it's funny to me that surfing is the last thing Americans think of when we think of stuff to do in Canada, but that just goes to show you there's a lot more than meets the eye.
Oceanfront cabins buzz with the chatter of Vancouver holidaymakers. And no matter the season, nature lovers take to the many trails, gardens, and parks on offer.
If you're a nature lover, this is the place to be. This is it. You found it. It's Vancouver Island.
South of Tofino, the small town of Ucluelet awaits, translating to people of the safe harbor in the native Nuu-chah-nulth language.
Cool.
This sleepy town is surrounded by some of the wildest landscapes on Vancouver Island.
Wow. So this is like a small town on Vancouver Island. People actually live here and grow up their whole life in this town. Oh my, and imagine growing up in this town in Vancouver Island. If you're watching this video and you grew up in this town in Vancouver Island, good for you. You are lucky because you get to see stuff like this. That's amazing.
Follow the wild Pacific Trail through thick forests of ancient cedar out along the coastline.
Wow.
This trail serves up some of the best scenery on the island, drawing photographers, whale watchers, and hikers from across the globe. The trail is made up of 3 sections. Along the light...
Dude, like when every single shot they're showing is like it could be the background to your computer or something, you know that this place is ridiculous.
House, Luke, you'll find Amphitrite Lighthouse. Named after the sea goddess and wife of Poseidon, this sturdy lighthouse stands like a sentinel, lighting the way for weary vessels navigating these treacherous waters.
Little lighthouse reminds me of the lighthouse on Prince Edward Island, right? There's a lighthouse all the way on the western side of Canada as well. Who knew? That's fun. Little lighthouse.
From first peoples to the fur trappers and fortune seekers of old, Vancouver Island is a place that has long rewarded those who have walked its wild shores.
Yeah.
In today's...
I love these little towns. With the houses that are literally built and they're kind of hanging over the water, and just all the boats. It makes such like a friendly, carefree atmosphere or something. Like, it's so whimsical in a way.
Busy world, many intend on visiting, but few actually make the journey. Those who do will be embraced by Mother Nature and her wildest, purest, and...
Dude, what is this? There's mountains in the background. Is this looking back at, like, mainland British Columbia, and those are mountains? That is crazy. I'm guessing that's the perspective we have here. This is an amazing picture.
And most beautiful best.
Wow. It's beautiful. What can you say? Oh, that's nice. What can you even say? What can you even say? That's ridiculous. Vancouver Island, you're ridiculous. This was by Expedia, and I liked that. I liked that so much. Man, just the sheer amount of different, like, nature, like, biomes and landscapes it has. Literally everything all on this island. Tons of beaches, all these fun little towns, and the capital that you can visit, which has, like, 1 million. It's just, like, there's just so much stuff that they tried to pack into this little video, and it gave me some idea of how amazing Vancouver Island is. It's funny, because I had never heard of Vancouver Island in my life until I watched a video on Vancouver and stuff around that area, and I found out about Vancouver Island. And I was like, how? I had no idea. And lo and behold, there's a bunch of amazing things there. There just seems to be so many secret little places in Canada. It's probably funny to hear because it's not secret at all to Canadians, but believe me, to Americans like myself, this is like discovering these amazing little hidden lands that are just popping up. It's fantastic, and I enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.